Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we will be giving all of our loyal listeners $1,000 next week, only to change our mind a week later. It's lost to the Midcard. Welcome to this edition, episode 174. We are going to be further progressing on to the old Money in the Bank pay-per-view. The field for both the men and women are set, so we'll cover that. Also get you up to date on NXT, a couple of developments on the television this week as well. And we'll explain that open. No, we're not giving away $1,000. We were promising you something only to take it away a week later. And I think we got some people that have something to say about that. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, every Thursday and Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. You can also get those subscription links on our Twitter account at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets within the wrestling world, so give that one a follow. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
I think that Vince needs to realize that a product he has that is going to network television is not going to appreciate a bait and switch in October 2019. You promise somebody a main event match on Fox, and you take it away, I'm sure those Fox executives are going to be really fucking happy about that.
Just like most of the wrestling world was really fucking happy about that last night, huh?
And it was such a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like, the only way it would have made sense is if they did, okay, we don't want Bryan or Joe to lose, so let's freaking put Cass in there to take the fall. And you put Cass in the match and he doesn't even fucking take the fall. So what was the point of having him there to begin with? All he did was stink up the joint for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun to talk about once we get there. Also joining us on the show, you've heard him before on the show. He is on the Twitter at NoOneLikeD. Darryl Bullock is on there with us tonight. Darryl, thanks for coming on. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you guys for letting me on once again.
Yes, sir. And you'll be back on in 2 weeks when we cover the go home as we preview TakeOver and Money in the Bank, and definitely lots of good stuff there. But let's first kick off the headlines. Today was day 2 of the trial between Chris Amon, the doctor for WWE, and against CM Punk and Colt Cabana. Jury selection in the civil lawsuit was brought by Dr. Amon against CM Punk and Colt Cabana. That began yesterday in the Cook County Court in Illinois. Trial process was originally scheduled to begin this past Tuesday, but pushed back due to a new judge taking the case, as well as some last-minute filings by Amon. Amon filed his lawsuit in 2015 over comments Punk made on Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast, hosted by Colt Cabana, where he broke his WWE silence for the very first time, and talked about the issues that led to his departure, including the health issues, such as the lump on his back that was diagnosed originally as a fat deposit, and despite several requests was not cut out. Then Punk later learned it was actually a MRSA staph infection, and not good. So that lawsuit is ongoing. Matt, what have you heard the latest on this here between Amon and Punk?
basically, I've read a whole bunch on the proceedings of the last 2 days, and like, look, I'm no, legal expert, but if I'm sitting there in that jury and I know nothing about pro wrestling, and I hear what I've heard over the last 2 days, there's no way I'm awarding Eamon anything.
Mm-mm.
Like, because the facts are as clear as day. He's asking for damages that he claims are not anything to do with emotional damages, but just damages to his reputation that have quote-unquote harmed him over the last few years. When he's still employed by WWE, he never lost his job, he's still getting paid probably even more now, because I'm pretty sure WWE's given him a raise in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, nothing at all, besides some people trolling this little bitch on the internet, has happened to him. So, if we could sue everybody that trolls us on the internet, I think the world would be a very dangerous place.
Lawyers would be even richer than they are now. So
yeah, so I'm just saying, like, everything I'm heard in the back and forth and the questioning and I see no possible way that Eamon wins this lawsuit. Like, I really don't, and I won't be surprised if by week's end this is thrown out of court by the judge on just account of how fucking stupid all of this is.
Yeah. I was amazed that Eamon filed a defamation lawsuit. I mean, what was there really to gain?
Well, he was filing for like $1 million in damages.
Yeah, and I'm
but
sure.
But like, even if you would have based the claim on like emotional damages, he stated today in court that in no way is he filing for emotional damages. Like, this is just the fact that his career has been damaged, which clearly it hasn't. So, like, I feel like the case is already closed, and we're only in day 2, so I really don't understand where this is going to go from here.
Once this is all said and done, if Punk does not continue with UFC, do you think once it's finally all said and done that opens the door for Punk in the WWE at all, or no?
I think if Punk decides to come back to professional wrestling, Punk will return to professional wrestling with Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And try to continue to help his friends, the Young Bucks, make that company even bigger than it already is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And seriously, if they get somebody as big as CM Punk, and there are rumors going online this week, and I have not been able to validate these, but there are rumors online right now that Daniel Bryan is yet to sign a contract extension.
I know you've seen the other rumors.
WWE.
I know you see the other rumors about All In.
The press conference?
I've seen a couple rumblings about Punk showing up.
Yeah, I heard you.
He very well could, but I think Punk showing up at All In will heavily stem on what happens June 9th in Chicago with the UFC.
Yeah.
Very true.
I think if Punk goes in there and wins on June 9th and he beats Mike Jackson, we're going to be waiting a long time before we ever see Punk inside a pro wrestling ring again. Whether it's for just to cut an interview or whether it's to wrestle, I think we'll be waiting a long time to see it. But if he goes in there and he loses in the first round to Mike Jackson, yeah, we totally could see him at All In.
Yeah.
And if Daniel Bryan and CM Punk both return to Ring of Honor by the end of this year,
look the fuck out,
and Sinclair gets that merger done, which could see Ring of Honor in a primetime slot weekly on WGN America.
Yeah.
The game might change.
Yeah, look the
no
fuck
pun
out.
intended.
Yeah.
So, if I'm WWE, I'm rooting for CM Punk on June 9th in Chicago. If I'm WWE, I don't want to see him lose.
I want to see him get his ass whooped in.
Because if he loses, there's a chance that man's returning to professional wrestling. Because if he loses twice, like, I don't see Dana White ever letting him fight again.
No.
And I don't see Punk sticking around and going to Bellator or anything like that, because he's already fought at the Pinnacle. You know how Punk feels about Ring of Honor, and I feel if Punk thinks that he could go there with the Bucks and Bryan and stuff and quote unquote stick it to Vince.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, to Punk, that's all. I feel like that's all the motivation that he would need. So
Well,
to me, these next couple weeks leading into that UFC pay-per-view are going to be very, very interesting.
yeah, well, Phil and Paul don't necessarily get along great either, so he definitely wants to stick it to Triple H and NXT as well. So.
Oh, breaking news! Brandy Rhodes tweets, "I'm ahead of recovery time. I will be teaming with @TheFlipGordon in New Jersey in 2 weeks."
Team Friend Zone.
So there he is. It's actually going to happen.
I love that name, Team Friend Zone. When was she supposed to come back?
I'd say at least a couple weeks after that.
Yeah, because I saw the picture of the screw or the plate.
Broken clavicle. Like the fact that she's going to get back in that ring that soon. Brandy's a warrior, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a picture of that plate in her shoulder there. Promotional poster for the United Kingdom Championship, which takes place in London's Royal Albert Hall on June 18th and 19th next month, is unveiled. And on the poster, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, your UK champion Pete Dunne, as well as the Undisputed Era. So those guys are all expected to appear. And Shawn Michaels and Triple H will also be on hand for the festivities as well. The tournament is on Monday, June 18th, and then the finals plus NXT taping, I believe, is what that is going to be, June 19th. And I believe that's airing.
I think that's going to air live on the network. I don't think it's going to be a taping.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a live special, and I hear that weekend is when they will officially announce the UK promotion that WWE is going to start running on the network. So this is a very exciting time for all those guys because they've been waiting for a damn long time to finally get this thing up and off the ground, and it seems like it's finally about to happen.
Yeah, the poster says finals plus NXT, so that'll be on the 19th, so that special air live on the WWE Network. And WWE is beginning to contact some talent for the second annual Mae Young Classic. It's going to be taped this August at Full Sail over 2 weeks, and they're reaching out to a number of talents, some of whom who worked last year's tournament, and some who have gotten tryouts with the company in the past. More information as it comes around. Matt, have you got the call to compete in the Mae Young Classic yet?
Why would I get the call?
Okay. Who do you think? Who do you want in, and who do you think's coming in?
Well, clearly, Io Shirai is going to be in it.
Yeah.
Who WWE just recently signed. They wanted her last year for this with Kairi Sane, but when they got her medical done, she had pretty serious neck issue that required surgery, and WWE opted not to sign her at that time. Clearly, surgery helped, and she's coming in now. I don't expect her to win because it would be kind of weird. You let the Japanese girl win 2 years in a row. I actually think Toni Storm will win this year. I think they're going to bring her in, and I think you know what? It might be her and Io Shirai in the finals, and I think Toni will win.
Yeah, she's going to be on the UK tour with and rumors swirling that she may have signed as well. So
I'm hearing she definitely signed.
Good deal.
Like she has a UK deal like Pete Dunne has. So she could still work like those like Progress and stuff like that over there in the UK. But her priority is clearly WWE. So I'm assuming that means the UK brand will have a women's division.
Yeah.
Which will be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
And if you have the woman who won the Mae Young Classic, heading up your women's division over there, that's a good dose of validation right there. It gives people a reason to tune in.
Who do you want to see compete in the Mae Young Classic this year?
I would like to see Mandy Leon, since apparently Ring of Honor isn't using her.
Lord Jesus. This man's infatuation with Mandy Leon.
Well, what did... Oh, dude. Okay, all right, Karen, calm down, buddy.
Brother.
But no, look. The Mandy Leon deserves to be used by Ring of Honor, and it's clearly that they haven't been using her lately. If they're not going to use her, and she's not signed to a contract, it would be in WWE's best interest to take her away from them. To me, that's just a no-brainer.
Yeah, we all know Matt's infatuation with Mandy Leon. It's been evident the entire time this podcast has been on the air.
What now?
You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
I ain't lying. I'm just speaking the truth.
Who do you, Darryl? Who do you want to see personally in the Mae Young Classic this year?
Oh, well, I have an infatuation with Mia Yim.
Yeah.
I think she'll be back.
She'll be there, and I have a feeling Jessamine Duke as well.
She said, Mia said her handicap pass expires tomorrow, so I think she's almost officially healed up there. So,
well, she's been working lately, though.
Yeah,
really?
she just she just wrestled Keith Lee last week.
Speaking of which,
she's good to go.
Yeah,
she actually came back in New Orleans,
and she's really good friends with Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, that's her roommate.
So to me, it would just be really weird not to see her back.
Yeah, and word is Keith Lee's saying his farewells and should be wrapping things up on the Indies pretty soon and heading to the WWE as well. So exciting times. Speaking of exciting times, the G1 special in San Francisco, it has been announced. It was expected, but it's now officially announced by Access TV that it will air live on July 7th. It's going to be at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The G1 special in San Francisco. This will be the third live broadcast for New Japan Pro Wrestling on the Access TV, with expected 10,000 fans to fill the Cow Palace. And of course, you got all your favorites: Okada, Omega, Naito, Tanahashi. When we get to this point, is Omega going to be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the world?
Damn well better be.
I believe so.
When is Dominion?
Dominion's June 9th.
The week before Money in the Bank. Okay.
It'll be one of those nights I'm staying up late.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be on the plane back here.
Yeah, that's what time that usually starts about 1 or 2 your time.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'll be able to make it, but I'm going to try.
I'm just going to watch it. I'm just going to watch it on Sunday during the day.
Hey, I got to give you props, though. I mean, you made it all the way to the last match at Wrestle Kingdom 12, so.
Yeah.
Obviously, nothing officially announced for this show yet, as we got to wait for the results of Dominion first. But then, there we go. Impact Wrestling took a huge dip in the ratings this week, down to 236,000. They lost almost 100,000. 100,000 may not sound like a lot, but when you're Impact Wrestling, that's almost all your audience. So, yikes. And wow, everybody's interested in this John Cena, Nikki Bella stuff, right? On Total Bella's dab. Yep. Well, the lowest rating,
nope.
The lowest rating ever was on their season premiere. That's not good when your season premiere brings in the worst numbers. Well, then the week after brought even worse numbers, dropped down to 505,000. Still double of Impact, but I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think they like those numbers. And
how'd week 3 do?
That was just week 2 just happened. So.
Are you sure? I thought there's been 3 episodes out already.
Nope, 2 was on Sunday. So week 2 was Sunday. Because
guess you're right.
Yeah, because we covered
Shows you how much I pay attention.
Yeah, we covered the premiere on last week's episode. Yeah, and then E's marketing department definitely works with Vince McMahon, because they were touting the success of the Total Bellas premiere. Yeah, but if you look at it, you'll see that was the worst rated of any of their shows ever. So I don't know if I'd tout the success.
Yeah, but if people aren't looking at the internet and they're just going to listen to what he has to say, you know.
That's how Vince made his living. That's how Vince made his living, right? I ain't wrong there, am I? And obviously with the holiday and Memorial Day numbers. Yeah, I was waiting for Vince to show up on the show today. Probably a little hesitant after Vince blew his vocal cords out last week.
Yeah,
But
I'm trying to be minimal about it.
With the holiday, no SmackDown numbers yet, but Raw just did roll in as expected. Low numbers for holiday, down just a hair under 2.5 million overall, with hours of about 2.6 million the first 2 hours and 2.3 million on the final hour of Raw. For those that don't subscribe to the WWE Network and still like to buy DVDs, well, The Shield is going to have a DVD coming out very soon, this July. Wrestling DVD Network posted the full match listing for that DVD, which goes from all the way back to John Cena to Dean Ambrose in 2015, and all the way up to Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar steel cage match at the Greatest Royal Rumble that Roman Reigns won, but yet still does not hold the title. Don Callis recently was interviewed, and oh, you're gonna laugh at what? Yeah.
Oh, dude, I already know what you're gonna say. It's why I'm already laughing.
Okay. He was interviewed by.
This dude must have been on some good weed when he did this interview.
Hey, someone say weed, man. I'm here.
Dude, I'm telling you, he had to have been on it. He had to have been. There's no way he believed what he was saying.
I'll hook my brother Don up. Come on, man.
Probably does.
Al Castle, senior writer for PWI, the illustrated PWI, not the insider PWI. He asked Callis, what are some short-term realistic milestones that you could accomplish in the next year or so? Callis said, I think there are two paths we're looking at. There's the incremental path, the small victories. Let's eliminate the stupid stuff. Let's eliminate the stuff that is ticking people off. Let's inject some logic. Let's slowly build a talent roster where we have legacy talent that we've allowed to move on and introduce new talent, like the Brian Cages of the world, Austin Aries, wrestlers that people are excited about. Those are incremental steps. The big picture, look, you made the point, but you didn't put it like this. The brand has not been cool. Really. All we know, and all we know is that if we create a great product with compelling storylines and excellent talent, we have an open environment working collaboratively with talent and other promotions, we all of a sudden are breaking paradigms of the wrestling business. That then will make us cool and give us a buzz. He said buzz. He was probably buzzed. It may not happen that quickly, but by the fall or the end of the year, we both want real buzz around Impact Wrestling, the way people talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, and get excited about it as a cool promotion. I want people to talk to us.
That's fucking funny.
I want people to talk about us like that, and I think we're on that path.
Here's a tidbit, Don. As long as this path includes Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan, you're not on that path.
Hey, that's been a good feud.
No, it's been garbage.
It's been a good feud.
It's been honestly.
They've been beating a dead horse, man.
Yes, thank you. And every time one of their backstage segments go on Impact, I just fast forward it because I'm so fucking sick of it.
Well, I haven't watched.
It is so damn stupid.
I guess I'm talking from the beginning of the feud until like about a month or two ago because I haven't watched Impact in a while.
Say, how can you sit here and say?
Yeah, you have to have watched last week's episode to you get really like pissed off at it.
Really? Is it just same shit over and over?
It's so dead at this point.
It's redundant.
It's OVE or Sammy's in the ring. Eddie shows up with a weapon. Eddie beats the tar out of them. Eddie says he's not done with them until he kills Sami Callihan and ends his career.
Here comes Eddie's wife.
Week after week after fucking week. Like, enough.
So you're trying to say that's not New Japan cool?
No, dude, it's not even NWA TNA cool.
Castle also asked Callis for the fans that maybe once upon a time did check out TNA but dropped off over the years, and there's evidence that there are a lot of those. That's funny how he put that in the interview, that there's evidence that there's a lot.
What's their evidence? They were pulling in over 1 million viewers a week on Spike.
Yeah, on Spike was it over 1 million? Is that about right?
Yeah, dude, they were when they were on Thursday nights on Spike, they were averaging between 1.4 to 1.5 million viewers a week.
Oh, even 1.5. Wow. Man, that's
I think the highest they ever got was like 1.7.
That's insane.
But like they were averaging between like a 1.4 to a 1.5 on Spike, and then Dixie fucked it all up.
Yeah. And then we begged for Dixie back later on. So
Yeah, but if Dixie wouldn't have fucked things up to begin with, who knows where that company would be today.
True. He goes, for the fans that maybe did check out TNA, drop off over the years, what would you say to them if you could speak directly to them, and why should they come back? And he goes, I don't feel like we have to say anything to those fans.
Oh my God.
Why not? I think
that to me, that's unbelievable.
That's a little cocky.
That is unbelievable.
Especially when you lost 100,000 viewers last week. Was there anything major going on last Thursday?
Probably Warriors and Rockets, I would say.
Yeah, I think it was.
But enough to really kill TNA that bad, though?
Dude, they were killing themselves.
Well,
it ain't wrong.
That's true.
I actually don't watch Impact, but it's nothing else to watch on Thursdays. So I've been watching it like as probably since I got back from New Orleans. And yeah, they've been killing themselves. Like me and Matt were saying earlier, the Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan shit. Dude, just stop. Moving to somebody else. You nobody cares. Where's Conan? Yeah, who cares?
It's just, look, this storyline was never meant to go this far to begin with. You know, this entire storyline stems from the idea that Sami Callihan fucked up a spot. And I mean, you're still banking on that fact all these months later. It's dead. It's done. It's over. Like, any interest you had from people about that ended months ago. Nobody cares. Like, honestly, anytime their segments come on TV, I'm rolling my eyes and fast forwarding. It's terrible.
Imagine when Triple H and Randy Orton were feuding a couple years back, when Randy Orton like beat the shit out of Vince and Shane and like DT Stephanie. It's pretty much like, okay, Triple H shows up at Randy Orton's house. Randy Orton shows up at Triple H's house. Randy Orton shows up at Triple H's house again. Triple H shows at Randy Orton. It's like a big circle. Nothing is happening. Nobody's doing anything extravagant to end the feud. And like I said, it's beating a dead horse. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and as bad as the Orton Triple H feud was going into WrestleMania 25, and everybody was thankful that it was over when it finally ended, this is 100 times worse. Like, I'd rather watch Triple H and Orton again than watch any more of this. And I was really tired of the Triple H and Randy Orton storyline by the time it got to Houston for WrestleMania.
But dude, he's telling the truth. Like, how many times can Eddie Edwards beat the shit out of Sami Callihan and his wife cry to him, I don't know who the hell you are, every week?
Yeah, it's like.
And I mean, if you want to see a storyline done, this type of storyline done in a better fashion, just watch the Gargano Ciampa feud.
Facts.
Because honestly, the TNA's taking a bunch of elements from that storyline and trying to implement it into this, and they're just not doing it right.
No, here's the thing. I mean, the whole feud was hot at one point, and then that's where you got to figure out a way to elevate Callihan from this. And it appears that they have done nothing but just put them in neutral, and it's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, they're copying Big Brother again. You know, they did that with Eric Young when Daniel Bryan won the title. They did it with Eric Young. All of a sudden, Eric Young was a main event player.
Yeah, dude, like a week later.
Yeah. Like,
seriously, it was insane.
So, you know, and like I said, I haven't watched the product in probably a month, but
honestly, you haven't missed a damn thing.
Yeah, nope. That's what I've heard. So, Callis says, I don't feel like we have anything to say to those fans. I think that by the end of the year, we're going to be a product that people are going to go out of their way to see. It's going to be. Oh wait, hold on, Matt. It's going to be destination programming, and we're not going to.
Are they going back to Destination America?
Maybe. I don't even know if I still have that channel. I probably do now. And we're not going to have to ask for it. I think we're just going to get it. It may sound a bit brash.
Wow.
That may sound a bit brash, but if I have my executive hat on, but if I, Scott, and Ed and the team did not believe we could be the best, then we would have no business in this position.
Holy fuck.
There is good weed out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Abba Zabba, you're my only friend.
He was on it when he did this call. Holy shit.
Dude, just stick to New Japan and leave it at that.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, I love his commentary in New Japan. And I know he's a great mind for pro wrestling. But, dude, why in the hell do you think within 6 months that you can get this company out of the gutter that they buried themselves in almost 6 or 7 years ago?
For one, they're gonna.
How the hell do you think you're going to do that?
For one, they're
on TV of all things.
Yeah. For one, they're going to have to get themselves out of a television station where you basically have to up your tier to get to it.
They're not even getting paid.
Yeah.
Like Impact isn't even getting paid to air on Pop. Like Pop's got the only thing they get are like the ads, and they barely have any ads to begin with. Like most of them are Pop commercials, so I'm sure they don't get that money. But like. It's free programming for Pop to air, so of course Pop's going to air it because they're not even paying for it.
Yeah, we get to hear how Josh Matthews loves Schitt's Creek a lot, So
WWE's making almost $500 million for Raw and SmackDown combined in their new television deals, and Impact is allowing Pop to air their programming and not get paid for it.
Yeah, let's jump to that right now. As we talked about, of course, in length last week, the big deal where SmackDown Live is heading to Fox in October
Even
of 2019.
bigger now. Now that we know the number figures.
Yep.
526.
And the stock has topped $60 million. It hit $60 a share. It hit a high of $60.51, but is currently traded at $60.44. And as of the business close of today, the stock did drop a little bit down to $58.96, but it has topped the $60 mark. It really took a tumble in the afternoon.
Because it hit 60 and everybody decided, this is as high as they're probably going to get. Yeah. Let's sell off. And I don't blame people for doing that because, dude, if you'd have told me a year and a half ago, or even just a year ago, that WWE stock was going to reach $60 this year, I probably would have laughed right in your fucking face. So the fact that it reached that height, like, I don't blame people for like, oh shit, they just hit that sweet spot at $60. I bought it when it was like 12. Let me cash out.
May 26, 2017, $19.91 a share.
Yeah, exactly my point.
Congratulations to former WWE star Stacy Keibler, as her and her husband are expecting their second child. Word is that Lana has been at the Performance Center in Florida, putting in some extra training prior to her Money in the Bank ladder match. And hey, The Rock, I think he's been in a couple movies this year, hasn't he?
Just a few.
Yeah, he's going to be filming another one in July and August. It's going to be Jungle Cruise, and the film is based on the iconic Disney ride of the same name. And Johnson will be a captain of a small riverboat that takes a group of travelers through a jungle filled with dangerous animals and reptiles and all that fun stuff. I mean,
if anybody can make it entertaining, it'll be him.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like every month this year there's been a Rock movie. So there's another one. What, June Skyscraper, right?
I'm not sure if it's in June. I know it's definitely this summer.
It's in the blockbuster schedule. Yeah, the summer blockbuster schedule. Yeah, I have not seen Rampage. I heard good things about it. I heard really good things about Jumanji.
I love Jumanji. I have not seen Rampage yet, but I will.
I didn't hear good things about Rampage.
Really? I heard some good things about it.
I heard it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think when it came out the same weekend as Blockers with John Cena, I heard Blockers was a lot more funnier than Rampage.
I can see how that's probably more funnier. Well, I don't see Rampage as really being a comedy.
I didn't hear that. No, I didn't hear that Rampage was. When I say fun, Like I meant as like a fun popcorn flick. Like
Gotcha.
I heard that it was entertaining. I did not hear that it was funny, but I heard it was it was an entertaining movie.
Yeah, I just heard it was better overall.
Yeah, I don't think The Rock asked the werewolf if he liked pie. 2 matches announced for Best in the World, and yeah, these are going to be pretty fun. For the World Championship, Ring of Honor World Championship, a triple threat match. Dalton Castle against the American Nightmare Cody and the villain Marty Scurll. And then for the World Tag Team Championships, the Briscoes take on the Bucks. I mean, that's 2 main events that are pretty money right there.
I'm seeing 2 title changes there, buddy.
I see 2. I thought Castle would have lost the title by now, so I definitely think Best in the World he's going to. Do they give it to Scurll, or do they get the rare 2-time champion? Because there's not many 2-time champions in the company.
Here's the thing. If Cody is going to win the NWA World Championship
At All In?
At All In, couldn't hurt to be the Ring of Honor champion at the time when he did it. But if he's not going to win that match and he's going to lose, if I'm Ring of Honor, I'm not putting my title on you to have you lose to fucking Magnus at All In.
Yeah, we all know Matt's thoughts about Magnus, so.
Because he sucks. Well, I mean, let's be fucking real. He sucks. Like there's a reason why his wife's with WWE and she can't even get him a job.
Mm-hmm.
But like, look, I think Scurll and the Young Bucks are coming out of Best in the World with the titles. I would not be surprised to see Cody get it. But if Cody gets it, I feel like he has to win the NWA title in September as well.
Yeah.
So,
God, how many
I ain't
times
gonna tell you who should be in the main event, but I digress.
He's gonna be too busy defending the 6-man tag team championships against SoCal Uncensored.
Look, all I know is he better have.
Are we on much they hate Baltimore and how they wish they were back in SoCal. SCU.
Are we on that Matt Taven man crush again?
Dude, come on now. Why must you guys tease me about this?
Dude, I was just putting him over. He's the 6-man tag champ.
Yeah, he's already got gold.
He deserves a world heavyweight title shot. That's the only title he hasn't had.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think he's losing those 6-man tag titles anytime soon.
Fuck those titles. Those are just titles for we don't have anything for you right now.
Dude, his partners need those titles.
I'm with you. I like Vinny.
Because they're talented, but nobody really gives a damn about them. Those titles are going to help those 2 guys become bigger stars.
Yeah.
So Matt Taven needs to use these 6-man tag titles to elevate his teammates. So I think they're going to hold those 6-man tag titles till probably the end of the year. Probably up till Final Battle.
I don't like you, man.
And
because I make sense.
I agree. I agree that eventually Matt Taven should be world champion within Ring of Honor. It'll probably happen eventually. It's just not.
But I think when that time is right, I don't think he should be with the Kingdom when he does it.
Yeah, and here's my thought process on this. You look at the Ring of Honor. Like the pioneers that are still with the company that haven't went to NXT or WWE now. You got Jay Lethal, you got Dalton Castle, you got Matt Taven, and the reason why I say this is because they've all held the title. I'm not taking anything away from Cody. I'm not taking anything away from Marty. But you look at the work that Matt Taven has done. When he tore his knee to shreds, he still worked that whole match. He still was doing commentary while he's, rehabbing his knee. Came back, you know what I mean, and went to CMLL, representing Ring of Honor, and now he's back. And he's probably one of the better heels in Ring of Honor now. Why not let that dude get the title? Why not?
I think it needs to build. I think it needs to build for a while. And to be quite honest, Ring of Honor's business model is up 30% this year, and I think that has a lot to do with the Bullet Club and Dalton Castle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think Ring of Honor in the midst of this Sinclair Broadcasting merger with that company that could get Ring of Honor on WGN in a weekly primetime slot that is actually specifically slated for them and not aired 3 different times on one weekend from the CW network. I think when that happens, they want a marquee guy that people are going to know as their champion when this occurs. I think, and to me that just makes sense. And right now, everybody knows the Bullet Club, and everybody, and like, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people know about Dalton Castle at this point. So
hey, don't forget a guy that's sticking around there in Jay Lethal.
Absolutely.
That is very well known as well, and maybe that's why he's sticking around to usher in that, possibly usher in that new era of Ring of Honor as champ. And it could be world champ or it could be TV champ. He's held them both. It's possible he could be one or the other at that point too. And for those that were wondering, Young Bucks are 3-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. So if they win at Best in the World, they would be 4-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
I'm gonna say something, and this ain't to piss you off, Darryl, but it's the truth. It's the truth. If by the end of this year, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are back with Ring of Honor, it's gonna be a damn long time before Matt Taven sniffs that Ring of Honor World Championship.
Absolutely.
Because that main event is going to be so crowded with those two guys back there that it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I absolutely think think that's the same. I mean, it should be that way. You got to make money, and think about it. He loses on June 9th with that merger, and they know that Daniel Bryan's not. They know that he's a free agent, and that it's a possibility that CM Punk could come back. Oh, that merger is as good as good. That's it.
Dude, I could even see them getting to the point some point next year if they've got both Bryan and Punk in that primetime slot on WGN. I could see them expanding their show to not only 2 hours. I could even see them going live.
Yeah.
I really, really could, because they would have the talent to do it. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan right now, man.
When is that supposed to get done?
Man, they've been working on this for months, and I mean months.
From what I heard,
last year, months.
From what I heard, I'm hearing August, maybe.
That'd be good. You get done in time for the fall schedule.
Right.
That would be nice.
And
build it all up to Final Battle at the end of the year.
Yeah, you got to build up for Final Battle. You got, they're advertising for All In. You're advertising for the Jericho Cruise. I mean, it's a lot going on around that time.
Yeah. Also signed to compete at Best in the World, Women of Honor champion Sumi Saki, the 6-man tag champs, as we said, The Kingdom, Punishment Martinez, Jay Lethal, Kenny King, Adam Page, Kushida, Flip Gordon, Bully Ray, Tennille Dashwood, Kelly Klein, Jenny Rose, and stars from New Japan and Stardom as well.
See, I just want to point out the fact that Mandy Leon isn't on that list.
You are correct.
But Jenny Rose is.
Well, man,
I mean, can we get real here for a second?
Well, hopefully.
If they're not going to use her trips, come on, man. Don't act like you don't got her number. Don't act like you can't get it if you don't have it. Come on now.
Yeah.
But you know who's weirdly noticeably absent from that list? Ring of Honor Television Champion Silas Young.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
But but sometimes Ring of Honor they leave people off, but they still show up.
Yeah, because to me, it's pay-per-view, all hands on deck as far as your champions are concerned. I don't see any reason why Silas wouldn't be in Baltimore defending the Ring of Honor television title.
Yeah. The bracket for the 16-man United Kingdom Championship Tournament is set. You can go to wwe.com/UK bracket to take a look. Some of the highlights of the bracket in the first round include Drew Gulak taking on Jack Gallagher, Flash Morgan Webster taking on James Drake, Tyson T-Bones taking on Jordan Devlin, Dave Mastiff against Kenny Williams, and those are just some of the highlights, including also Tucker against Joe Coffey. So make sure to go to wwe.com/UK bracket to take a look at the bracket for that tournament that we talked about happening in the latter part of June. And Pro Wrestling Guerrilla has announced that their 3 Mendes 5 lineup for July has been finalized. This will be at the Globe Theater, July 13th, Los Angeles, California. This has got a pretty damn good card as well. The PWG Tag Champions, the Rascals, are going to take on the Young Bucks. The PWG Champion Walter takes on Brody King. You're also going to have David Starr and Dalton Castle, Trevor Lee and Ray Phoenix, Ray Horace and Penta OM, Joey Janela, Jeff Cobb, and Matt Riddle against Marty Scurll. NXT this week as we continue to work our way towards TakeOver Chicago with only, I think before this episode, really only one match on the card, the tag titles, right? That's not the only thing.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's been the only thing set in stone at this point. Morrow narrates the angle between Gargano and Ciampa from last week and informs us that Johnny and Tommaso are not here tonight, but they need to return their street fight paperwork to William Regal because it's going to be a little Chicago street fight. Aleister Black makes his way to the ring to kick off the show. Talks about how it's been a trip being the champion ever since he won the belt in New Orleans. He understands there's confusion about his next challenger, but only needs 1 second to land his shot and make his opponent fade to black. Lars Sullivan comes out and says there's no confusion. Regal has named him Black's challenger for Chicago. And Finn says, of course, like any challenger will do, that he's going to take the title in Chicago. Grabs Black by the throat. Black fights him off with the forearm. Goes for the Black Mass, but Sullivan catches it with one hand. And Black looks a little shocked as he lands into the freak accident. All in all, to make us think that Black is in trouble when he's actually just going to knock Lars Sullivan's head into the third row in Chicago at TakeOver. Correct, Matt?
I would certainly think so. I think it would be a gigantic mistake to put Lars over Aleister Black in his first TakeOver title defense. Like I said on Twitter earlier tonight, yeah, like sure you can catch his foot for the Black Mass when you haven't had a match yet, but I bet you won't be doing that after a 20-minute match. So
yeah.
I really don't see I don't see a title change there, and there really shouldn't be. Like, unless they're ready to bring Black up, and I don't think they should yet. Like, to me, there's no reason to have him lose to Lars here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt much for Black's career if having him in the spotlight for a long time as champion. I think he's going to be champion through the end of the year, possibly.
I don't know if he holds it that long, but I feel he definitely should hold it longer than just one TakeOver.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to fathom just because of who's all in NXT right now, but I don't know. I mean, how long do you think he's going to hold that title, Darryl?
I give it about maybe two to three TakeOvers, if that.
I mean, I could see him being called up after SummerSlam.
Just a possibility.
Like I could see him losing it to whoever he faces in Brooklyn. But I don't think he should lose it in Chicago.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I don't think he's going to.
But who does it? Who's relevant enough, or who has that pedigree enough to beat Aleister Black in Brooklyn?
I would put it on EC3.
Oh, we both said that immediately. So
yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of. So you said it first, but yeah, I agree with you.
Well, no, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, we both said it immediately. So,
but do you think because he hasn't been there for a full year yet that you put him on that fast? The only other person I've seen them do that to is Kevin Owens.
I don't know, man. They had Rude debut at TakeOver Brooklyn, and 4 months later he was beating Nakamura for the title.
This is true.
So I mean, that was a pretty quick rise too, and this would be about the same time for EC3. So, and EC3 is a lot younger, and no offense to Rude, but I feel like EC3's got a lot more gas in the tank for the company. Poor Rude, they haven't done him any favors since moving him to Raw.
They need to turn him heel. I mean, seriously, turn him heel.
Dude, that's pretty much.
Turn him heel on Seth Rollins, and that's your SummerSlam IC title match right there.
Dude, I just think that even with like the whole main roster, is so much talent up there, but they don't know what to do with all of it. It's too crowded. It's like it's an overcrowded room. So, same thing can apply to Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger was so hot coming out of NXT.
Now he gets no reaction now when he comes out.
He even got a new haircut, and he gets no reaction.
He used to get major pops first few months on that main roster, but I mean, we'll talk about it later. He looked good against Nakamura for the first. He looked good for the first time in a long time. Against Nakamura.
But I don't know if that did Nakamura any favors.
True.
Because as you say, for the first time in a long time, he looked really good, and he did it against a guy who's supposed to be challenging for the WWE Championship in a few weeks. So, in hindsight, I don't know how good that looks for Nakamura.
Yeah, I don't know. Fozzie's Painless is going to be the TakeOver Chicago theme. War Raiders come to the ring and kill a couple of jobbers, and
They should.
Literally, I think they killed. I think they killed the guys. I mean, I'm serious. They had fallout for the 1, 2, 3. I mean, pencil that in for your Brooklyn Tag Team Championships, Undisputed Era War Raiders. I think you could almost pencil that in. You can almost pin that in.
Matt had an awesome tweet earlier that he wished that AOP wouldn't have moved up before the War Raiders came into NXT.
Yeah.
And it's true because they're not doing anything with them up there.
No, this would be a hell of a takeover match.
If AOP was up there and they were involved in a storyline right now with Hardy and Wyatt or something, okay, I understand why you brought them up. But, I mean, you're not doing anything with them. They weren't even at the barbecue on Monday, so they didn't even acknowledge them as being part of the tag team division on Raw.
Yeah, so are they going to be in that Battle Royal next week? That's
who knows if they're even going to be in the Battle Royal next week. So I mean, at this point, if you brought them up not to do anything with them, you got two beasts down there in the fucking War Raiders, War Machine, however you want to call them. The fact I didn't get my AOP and War Machine in NXT, that's gonna leave me upset for a long time, because I've been wanting to see that match for years.
It's kind of like you go to NXT, even with AOP. I'll say this, with the regular tag team, let's just say with Red Dragon, minus Bobby Fish getting hurt, you knew what they were already. War Raiders, you knew what they were already. The hype was behind them already, whereas AOP, you had to work them up. Yeah. When you moved into the main roster, I just have the feeling that Vince will have them in the tag title pictures in the future, maybe possibly the near future, but he still has that old man thought process where you have to build them up. Yeah. And that's the thing with a lot of NXT talent.
Well, yeah, look what they're doing. I mean, the Revival,
right.
They're pissing in the wind right now.
Right.
But the Revival got hurt because they got injured back-to-back. Yeah. I mean, the Revival both times were getting a push, and then one guy got hurt, and then the other guy got hurt.
Okay, look at the Ascension. The Ascension were hot coming out of NXT.
Oh, my God.
I never felt that.
I wrote an article on a 1-year plan for the Ascension, thinking they were going to be huge because of how successful they were in NXT, and no.
Anybody who's listened to this podcast know, I like the Ascension, but I never thought they were anything special. I am not surprised with what's happened to them on the main roster. The problem with AOP right now, and one of the main things that made them special, was the addition of Paul Ellering, and he's gone now. So they're at this point on Raw, they're kind of just another tag team.
But
they haven't done anything to establish them as something different. And
but
that's
I just
a problem.
Have the feeling, dude, it's like you work your ass off in NXT and you get Ty Dillinger with a 10 chance or AOP or whoever the fuck. And then they move them up to the main roster. And then they start them all over from step one. And I get it, but damn, you can't have them come off of such a hot start, and these NXT fans, such as ourselves, when they make their debut, they get all hype and all this extra shit. But then as soon as you downplay them, as soon as they get to the main roster, Vince is like, okay, that's just another NXT guy. Let's make him work his way up like the rest of them did. You can't do that.
No, you really can't.
And then on the SmackDown side, all of a sudden, all mentions of sanity have disappeared.
Yeah, it's really
right.
I'm curious if one of them got hurt or something.
It's bullshit to me.
And honest to God, like, no offense to Sanity, but if SmackDown don't have a plan for them, don't bring them up right now.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Let them stay in NXT. Like, say contract negotiations with SmackDown fell through, and Sanity's going to stay in NXT for now.
I like to have them say that about AOP, so then we can get that feud that we all want.
It's a fucking 3-hour show. There's no reason why in hell they shouldn't have been on the damn show.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there's no reason why you can't.
Especially when every tag team, quote unquote, was there in that stupid barbecue, and they
exactly. Goddamn Rhino eating them bologna sandwiches. I hate bologna.
That was hilarious.
I'm not a big bologna fan either. I liked it when I was a kid. I don't like it now.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. He was sitting there with a tray full of them. That was the best part about that barbecue was Rhino. Kathy Kelly interviews Lacey Evans. Her rubber match with Kairi Sane is next week. That's a woman that's definitely impressed me over the past month in Lacey Evans. I think she has definitely improved her standing in the women's division in 2018. EC3, his third match with NX3, taking on Fabian Eichner. A pretty solid match with these guys. Fairly short, though, but Eichner definitely a very solid wrestler. I think he's got some potential going forward as well. I think probably it may need to be in a tag team other than solo competition. But the main part about this was Johnny Gargano storming to the ringside area, slapping the contract on the announce table and talking about that this is a signed contract for Gargano Ciampa 2. Walks past EC3, and I think Darryl made it pretty obvious to me that Gargano's next feud after Ciampa's match here in Chicago is going to be EC3, huh?
I would like to believe that, but that brings me to the point what you guys said earlier. If you put Aleister Black in a title match in Brooklyn, and the next feud with EC3, does it last till Brooklyn, or is it just a TV feud?
It's a good question. But honestly, if EC3 doesn't do anything in that street fight, tonight's segment made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, because that look was just too obvious.
And just why would you do that in the middle of that match?
Oh yeah, he looked
in particular.
He looked pissed. Yeah, he looked pissed. So.
Well, that's your I'm going to turn EC3 heel officially against Gargano, which is the babyface type thing.
Yep, and then they'll bring up EC3 as a babyface on Raw, and it'll be Bobby Roode
all over again. Correct.
EC3 hits the 1%er for the victory. As NXT always does well with video packages, getting to know your talent better. They did that part 2 with Bianca Belair with her background, and geez, it sucked to race against her in track and field, huh?
She's fine too.
She was like fucking miles ahead of people on those 110 hurdles. Good stuff as always. I always love those things they do with getting to know your NXT people, and I think the main roster they're kind of starting to do that a little bit, but that Lashley thing was a little awkward. Chris Dijak makes his NXT television debut, taking on Ricochet, and it was a short match, but you got a glimpse of what the 6'8" guy can do when you feast your eyes. This guy's definitely got a lot of talent. He showed a couple of glimpses of that in this match here.
He scared me though.
Oh, with the moonsault?
Dude looked like he almost broke his neck. I jumped down in my seat. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, he landed a little cockeyed on that. Ricochet finishes him off with the 630 senton and grabs the mic and says, so Velveteen Dream likes the spotlight. I get it. He deserves it. Dream is the most entertaining superstar to come through NXT. But the spotlight doesn't show how good you are. It shows your flaws. And when Velveteen turned it on him in their handicap match last week, showed what a punk he is. Dream shows up and says, Punk, okay, I'll allow it because tonight's your spotlight. But last week it was their spotlight, and he proved that anything Ricochet could do, Velveteen could do better. Ricochet says, come to the ring and prove it. Dream starts coming to the ring and says, The only spotlight bright enough for both of them is TakeOver in Chicago. Velveteen will prove that anything Ricochet can do, he can do better. And then Ricochet does some superhero shit, flips over the rope and lands right in front of Dream, and the look on Dream's face was, well, basically the same look on everybody else's face. Like, well, what the fuck did Ricochet just do?
Ooh, superhero landing.
It was, I mean, that was seriously superhero shit right there, wasn't it?
That was crazy.
Dude, I'm calling it early. I'm calling it like 3 weeks early. That's going to be the match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, Gargano Ciampa, they may be able to top what they did.
I mean, but you know what to expect with that. A lot of people fairly know what Ricochet can do yet.
But I've been saying this for the past 3 weeks or so, past month or so. Every time Ricochet and Velveteen Dream are on the same camera, it's just been magic, man. They've been amazing. The promos, working together, even giving props to each other and then turning on each other. I mean, the whole thing's been magic. I mean, if it wasn't for Ciampa and Gargano, this could be feud of the year in NXT right here. And I'm looking. This is my most anticipated match of the TakeOver card.
Fun fact about Velveteen Dream: since he's been there, he has all his matches, mostly on TakeOver, are great. He rarely has a bad match.
Mm-hmm. The dude's fucking 22.
Right.
It's awesome.
John Cena basically says he's the guy to lead the NXT and WWE down in the future.
Dude, he can do it. Like, he can really do it. He has his gimmick is great. He's athletic as hell. He has the look. Like, there's nothing else you can say bad about him. He's the modern day Goldust.
Or Rick Rude. Absolutely.
Now,
here's what I thought. My initial thoughts, I mean, I love the gimmick from the get-go. I love the Velveteen Dream gimmick from the get-go. I thought my first thoughts were there's going to be a wall with him in this gimmick, but then the Aleister Black feud happened, and I'm like, yeah, there's not going to be a wall. I mean, he can take this gimmick to the top, and in a world where gimmicks aren't, gimmicks died with the Attitude Era for the most part because, well, I mean, take a look at the gimmicks in the early 90s and you'll see what I mean. But, they're few and far in between. But when you do it that good and then you can also be amazing in the ring, I mean, seriously, that Chicago crowd does not know what they're in for with Ricochet and Velveteen Dream in 2.5 weeks. Next week is announced that Danny Burch will take on Roderick Strong, and that leads us to the main event. Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. This was never in any doubt. Dakota did get a nice little flurry with her usual offense in, but in the end, Shayna was just basically debilitating Dakota Kai to the point where she choked her out. She put the choke back on after the match, but Nikki Cross runs in, and Nikki Cross does what she does best and gets crazy. How Matt?
The entire aftermatch segment with Cross was fantastic.
It was amazing.
That shit was hilarious.
I posted on Twitter, I go, I'm even more scared when Nikki Cross is calm. Because, she put the belt down and was just standing there all calm. I'm like, that makes me even more scared than when she's going crazy. Then she makes Dakota Kai the special guest referee for an impromptu match and hits the, what's her finisher called? Fuck. Just blanked on me what her finisher's called. But she hit her finisher on Baszler, and Dakota counted the 1, 2, 3. So... I fully expect General Manager William Regal to say something in terms of this match being official in the next week or so. The Purge, that is the name of her finisher. So pretty solid NXT. Good stuff there. Matt, you wanted to talk about Dijak a little bit. You were kind of disappointed that there wasn't any fanfare coming in with his debut.
Yeah, I just felt the dude deserved better, man. And honestly, after seeing the moonsault, I kind of understand why they didn't hype up the debut. I wouldn't even be surprised if he did that moonsault spot and they decided in the back, all right, we're going to cut this match short.
Go home.
And they did what they did. But yeah, I just thought he deserved better for his debut. I mean, ain't no shame in losing to Ricochet, but I know the talent Dijak has, and I just thought he was going to get a better debut with NXT than he got.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Dijak kind of falls into the where he needs. Obviously, the WWE world is completely different, and maybe he needs a little more work to get to where he needs to be, where they want him to be, and we all know he's talented. We all saw that in Ring of Honor. So I think maybe in terms of the WWE business of the entire body of work, the entire picture, inside and outside of the ring, I think maybe there was more that they needed to work with Dijak than obviously a guy like Ricochet, or even going back further with Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode. I mean, those guys got it immediately. But guys like Finn Balor, they wanted to stick around a couple of years to perfect what is asked of you in that company. So maybe it's just there's some extra things that Dijak just needs to work on in the whole picture, and that's why they didn't quite give him the big, I mean, well, hey, remember Becky Lynch's debut in NXT?
I'd rather not.
Yeah, a very.
But to be fair, moment. Becky Lynch didn't come in as an established name either.
No, that's true. But
if Big Ass can make it on the main roster, Dijak can.
Dijak's got much.
Dijak's got more talent in his pinky than Big Ass has in his entire body.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah, I knew Matt was not going to disagree with me on that one, but that's just my guess on Dijak at this point and why not bigger a deal. Maybe it's more of a project, more of a body, more of a project that needs to be done to get the full package. Just my guess. That's all. Monday Night Raw comes live from Richmond, Virginia, the home of Mickie James. We kick it off with an excellent Memorial Day tribute video from the WWE featuring some military personnel talking about their experiences in the war. You could see just how emotional they get talking about those experiences. I thought it was WWE always does some great stuff there in regards to the patriotism and everything, and with Memorial Day, that was no exception.
Can I say something about that?
Yes, sir.
Like, as a former military member, I think WWE, as far as that vignette, actually touched me a little bit. Now, I could say I wasn't in any wars or anything, but we've known that their trips to Afghanistan and different military bases across the world, it's evident. But that particular vignette, and not to be joking or anything, was probably the best part of the show for me, because they actually, went in depth and talked to military members about their experience, and you saw the emotion on their faces behind it. You know what I mean? So it actually touched me a little bit.
It was very well done.
They took the extra mile. Instead of just a video package produced showing patriotism and clips of them in Afghanistan, they took the extra mile this time.
And sometimes you see other sports try to do a tribute to the military or the armed forces, but WWE goes above and beyond for it, and I respect that. They do.
The evening starts with Braun Strowman. That's a guy I'd go to war with. Holy shit, that guy's. Strowman,
I don't know, man. He'd be a big target to be shot.
Yeah, that's true. Strowman tries to talk, but the Richmond crowd chanting that "Get these hands." Hey, they got that slogan over, boy. And he talks about how he is going to basically start with Money in the Bank and end with Brock Lesnar, and I'm all for all of those steps. Please. And he even calls himself Mr. Monster in the Bank, which that sounds like a Sesame Street character, Mr. Monster in the Bank. It works when Strowman says it, though, but I didn't hate it. Finn Balor showed up, told Strowman he's getting ahead of himself, and pointed out how he's the first Universal Champion that never lost his title, and that he eats away at him every single day, and eats away at me too. How they never really gave him a fair shake to get it back. But hey, I digress. Okay, let's digress. Why haven't they, Matt? Why have they not given the first ever Universal Champion a fair shake or another run with the title? I mean, outside of it being Brock Lesnar, but, hijacking the title for 500 days. But is there, you feel any reason as to why they haven't put Finn back at that level yet?
Same reason the Revival are floundering right now. He got hurt.
Trust? Trust factor?
He got hurt. He came back. He got a concussion. He was out again for a very short period of time, and I think that was enough in Vince's eyes. Vince has trouble wanting to push anybody who can't stay healthy. And unfortunately for both the Revival and Finn, they had very, very badly timed injuries that have affected both of their main roster careers long term at this point.
Man, fuck him. Because when Triple H
we all know that. We all know that.
He was back. When John Cena got hurt, he was back. What happened when John Cena came back?
Yeah, but at that point, all those guys were multi-time world champions by the time they got hurt.
And I get that, but look at their body of work over their career, regardless if you're in WWE or not, dude. Come on now.
It's Vince, dude.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe that if I work for WWE, Matt, I will probably get fired the first day like you.
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't last a week. Not under Vince. There's no way. I'd tell him how I really felt, and I'd be gone. Because I wouldn't be able to... I could not tolerate just being a yes man and telling him that his ideas are great.
And this is why I tell folks I'm a bigger Ring of Honor fan than WWE.
I love them both.
Yes. Balor got in the ring with Strowman and said that last week he gave him everything that he had, and a very great match, actually. And Strowman told Balor he put up a good fight for a little guy. I thought that was funny. Balor slapped Strowman in the face. That probably wasn't the smartest decision in Balor's life, but that started a brawl that led Kurt Angle to come out and set up a rematch of last week, where Strowman and Balor, again, put on another good match. We said it before, Strowman has proven he can work with anybody, and Balor vice versa. Balor can work with smaller guys and bigger guys too. So these guys definitely worked well together, so I didn't mind them having a rematch here on Monday Night Raw. Just as Balor hit the coup de grace, went for a second coup de grace, Kevin Owens, who was on commentary, came in and knocked Balor off of the turnbuckle, calling for the disqualification. Owens grabs a ladder, hits Balor with the ladder, went after Strowman, but Strowman caught the ladder and then launched that fucker halfway up the ramp. That was hilarious shit with Owens running out of the arena, trying to exit the arena. But Kurt Angle stopped him and said he's got a match against Bobby Roode later on tonight.
And Bobby Roode said, "Damn it, I got a job again."
Yeah.
And that poor guy's got to face Strowman next week. Honest to God, if Brock Lesnar wasn't Universal Champion right now, the way they're booking going into Money in the Bank says Bobby Roode's winning.
You think so?
Yeah.
If Brock wasn't champion.
Yeah.
Right.
If you look back at past Money in the Banks, whoever is losing to other opponents in that match ends up going in and winning Money in the Bank.
These are facts.
And you know what? If Lesnar wasn't champion right now, I'd be like, damn, Roode's getting a push. Roode's going to get Money in the Bank. But with Brock as the champion, I'm just man, you just burying Roode.
Yeah, because they did the exact same thing with Jack Swagger. They did the exact same thing with Baron Corbin. They were doing... Sandow. They were losing. Sandow.
Yeah, they did it to all of them.
Yeah, they were losing left and right, and then they won the briefcase. But
I think Samoa Joe's taking the case.
Same here. Makes more sense.
I'm on your page where a SmackDown guy is going to have it, but I think...
You're still being a dumbass on the Raw side.
Yeah.
Darryl, who's winning the women's Money in the Bank match?
I'm gonna go with Becky.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not on Matt's.
You both are insane.
I'm not on Matt's theory.
What do you think's gonna win it?
He thinks
Natalia's gonna win it.
Yeah, he thinks it's so set in stone that she's going to turn on Ronda Rousey.
I can see it because
Natalia's going to win the briefcase to open the show. Rousey's going to beat Nia Jax. Natalia's going to come out to celebrate with Ronda, and she's going to clock her with the freaking briefcase and freaking cash in and win the title.
And there you go, Natalya, Ronda Rousey, SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam. Thank you.
Sense.
Now who's winning the women's Money in the Bank live?
Yeah, it's Natalya because Natalya. I mean, for one, she deserves it, and it just makes the most sense now that you bring that up.
And her and Natty, her and Ronda are going to be able to have an awesome match at SummerSlam.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not there yet on that. I'm on your. My lean right now is Becky Lynch.
Only reason I say Becky Lynch is because the same thing with Finn Balor. Although she wasn't hurt, like. Ever since she lost, she's the first SmackDown Women's Champion, and you haven't done shit with her since.
But I feel like a Raw Women's going to win that briefcase, but I don't know. It's so wide open. It's
not wide open at all. The men's is so much more wide open than the women's.
And the men's is so obvious.
Yeah, I could see the men. I could literally see 6 out of the 8 guys winning that briefcase. Right now, not rude because then you put that logic of what's happened in the past.
I mean, I guess he could hold it for a whole year, like so many have done before. But I just don't see them putting that on him with Lesnar as the Universal Champion.
You gotta wait for Brock to get off his ass and show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually Roman, Brock, 3 or 4 or 5, whatever the fuck they're on the series. That's gonna happen, and Roman will finally win. And Brock can hightail it off to the UFC.
Honestly, although he has a title, there's only one person that deserves to win that damn title and on Raw, and that's Seth. That's just my personal opinion.
Seth or Braun.
Or Braun.
Right. These are facts. Fuck Roman and what's going.
I think Seth or Braun take that title at SummerSlam. I really do. I don't know which one, but I feel like Brock's title reign ends at SummerSlam.
The way Seth has been talking shit to Lesnar makes you think he could be the one to take it.
Yeah, you could say that, but you could also say the way Braun's been booked, by him devastating everybody, but he has yet shit to show for it, including a bullshit tag team title run. He deserves it. But
Braun has faced Brock 1-on-1 for the title and lost.
Which was the dumbest match ever.
Where Rollins hasn't yet. So
the fact that he lost to 1F5 is disgusting.
Dumbest shit.
Yet Reigns had 8 of them on him or whatever.
5 or 6.
Right.
At least 6. It was at least 6. So I think, and I've said it on the show maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. I could see Matt corrected me on who it wasn't Warrior. It was the last guy to do it. Somebody else at Triple H maybe or somebody. But I could see Rollins. I could see Rollins holding the IC belt and the Universal title at the same time, and then he vacates the IC belt when he beats Brock.
No, Rollins already did it once.
Yep, did he vacate the US title? Or did he lose it? Okay.
I think he vacated it.
I think they made him vacate it, and then they had a tournament for it.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't even remember.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Only thing I remember is the statue getting fucked up.
I thought they had a tournament for it after he won the world title. Or yeah.
No. Remember what happened? They booked that double match with him having to defend the title twice in one night.
Right. And
that's
he
right.
lost the US title to Cena.
Yeah.
And then he fucking ruined Sting's career.
Because that started the U.S. Open Challenge. That's right. Okay. See?
Oh, I miss Sting.
When we have to put up with Vince 365 days a year, some shit gets blurred.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing my best Matt impression right after Brooklyn. I'm probably not going to any WWE stuff right after Brooklyn.
Unless it's NXT, I just don't have any excitement to go to a WWE show anymore.
I literally had a friend who went to Raw in Richmond, and she texted me I shouldn't have came here. And I'm like, why? She said, I'm bored. You know what I mean? Like
3 hours. Those 3 hour Raws are hard to sit through.
And especially if you're starting at like 7:15, 7:30 to film.
The main event garbage.
Yeah,
right.
You should have just told her to start a CM Punk chant.
Will you stop?
Kevin Owens, like I said, trying to hightail it out of here, but Kevin Owens is so great in those type of comedy roles.
Kevin Owens is great, period.
Absolutely.
True. Fact. And we got stupid cell phone promos, which means, we're going to get a cell phone promo from every woman in the gauntlet match. Okay, thank you. Elias.
At least they stopped with the stupid words.
No, they did not on Sasha's. Yeah,
did
Sasha.
Like,
I don't even. A big old green Sasha Bank pops up.
No, but I mean, like during the promo, like the words,
like
the words aren't popping up around her like it was fucking Sesame Street.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
God.
C is for cookie. It's good for me.
Somebody finally listened to us for a change. Jesus Christ, I hated that.
Yeah, I really don't know what they were thinking with that little experiment.
I thought the Nakamura thing was kind of funny first time though when they did that in his entrance, but yeah, they went overboard. Elias threatening that he's going to leave, and the crowd's telling him to leave. They go to commercial, they come back, he's still there, and Seth Rollins comes out, so no concert for Elias. There's some foreshadowing there for you, though, as a little stare down between Rollins and Elias. And we get probably what was the highlight of Raw match-wise, I think. Seth Rollins, Jinder Mahal, I thought was a pretty damn good, solid match, in my opinion. No surprise that Sunil Singh tried to get involved and all that stuff but in the end, Rollins had enough and brought in the steel chair and got the DQ. This was one where the DQ made sense because obviously Jinder the week before took it to Seth Rollins with the steel chair. Matt, I thought this was a very solid match.
It's the best Jinder's looked in forever.
Yeah.
But that's, again, stepping there into Seth Rollins.
True.
I think the only person in the company right now Seth couldn't get a good match out of is Carmella.
And it's a lot like HBK. Like, HBK would get a lot of great matches out of people because of the way he sold. And Rollins is doing that level of selling but like I said, we have different opinions on Jinder's championship reign. You say it sucked. I said it was
the worst.
Good. I said it was good. I mean, I wasn't overly, oh my god, this was a great reign, but I thought it was solid.
It wasn't bad for me. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that too. Like an RKO. After the match, Rollins celebrating on the announce table with a chair when Elias clocks him in the back of the head with the guitar, and he goes tumbling down. I thought the stretcher was a little bit of overkill for a guitar shot, but sometimes the WWE likes to overkill that stretcher scene, don't they?
Well, the idea is he fell off the...
He fall down, go boom.
Yeah, he fell off the commentator table to a table or something.
But Rollins eventually said, no, I am getting...
I think it was more about the landing than it was the guitar shot.
Yeah, he says, no, I'm walking out on my own. And he did. As fans were singing Happy Birthday, you're wondering why. Well, it was Seth Rollins' birthday on Monday.
Yeah, nice booking Seth. For the birthday boy. Thanks, Vince.
Yeah. What'd you do for your birthday? I took a guitar shot and fell through a table.
Yeah, ask Mickie James how she got booked in her hometown of Richmond, Virginia.
How they couldn't have let her be in that match early and get one win is beyond me.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
She could have knocked.
She could have been one of the Riot Squad.
She could have beat 2. I'll give her 2 wins.
Yeah, it was really weird the way they treated her.
Yeah, the crowd popped for her pretty good too. It was a good pop. They were excited.
And I knew she wasn't going to beat Riot, because if she beats Riot, that the crowd would have been firmly behind Mickie when we all knew that Sasha was going to win.
Right.
So they weren't going to fuck Sasha over like that. So I knew she had to lose to Riot. And I was just like, man, this is a total disservice to Mickey, man.
Next up was Nia Jax's exhibition with Ronda Rousey watching. I didn't really like this segment, Matt. I don't know. It just didn't click for me.
Sucked.
Okay, I'm not the only one. It was terrible.
It was interesting. Interesting to the extent of why. What was the purpose?
Yeah, well, and then on top of that, apparently they're turning Nia Jax heel again after this whole overcoming bullying at WrestleMania, and now she's gonna be a bully. Or that part's dumb in itself. But take that away from the segment, it was just a poor segment, I thought.
I think that the whole feud is just stupid. Like, yeah, Ronda's decent in the ring, but then also you didn't know what was the purpose of having Nia Jax win the title?
Yeah. What was the purpose of turning her a babyface? I mean, you're just going to turn her heel again.
Thank you. It defeated the purpose, period. Oh, we're going to give you and your best friend a match at WrestleMania on the grandest stage of them all. And then we're going to fuck you over by letting Ronda pin you.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't a fan of her getting the title shot right now. And Matt said, let it play out. And I'm like, well, it played out. They played it out decently, but with setting it up and Nia Jax demanding that she face Rousey. But, I mean, the execution on everything else since then has just not been good. I mean, the contract signing was not good because Stephanie talked 90% of it. And this segment wasn't good either. So, I don't know, man. Not the way I would book Ronda right now.
Yeah, well, what can you do? Hey, you guys keep talking Raw. I'll be right back, all right?
Yep. The Ascension, which we put over a few minutes ago. The Ascension, Connor and Victor, taking on the Raw Tag Team Champions, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, and hey, Darryl. At least the Ascension got 5 minutes. I didn't get jobbed in 2.
Yeah, I was proud of them.
God, I want more for these guys. The Ascension.
With them, my theory is this: what we were speaking about earlier, when in the age where gimmicks are not great anymore, it kind of holds them back a little bit.
Well, what hurt was the fact that I think when they got up to the main roster, they tried to make them too much like LOD. And
you can't do that. Thanks, Vince.
Yeah,
let them be themselves.
That turned. I mean, they were nothing like LOD in NXT. In the article I wrote, like, I had a 1-year plan. I mean, I even had them putting them with Paul Heyman, and dominating, breaking records and shit, because, I thought it would happen. And, and I said, you could make them into a modern day LOD, but don't copy. And I mean, what they do in their debut in January of 15? They had fucking shoulder pads like LOD.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like, why are we doing this? They're not LOD. They're not Demolition. They're Ascension. Let them do what they did to excel in NXT.
Yeah, I mean, you just had them pissing in the wind from the beginning.
Stupid.
Kurt Angle in the office. The B team shows up. The B team's been pretty fucking funny, haven't they?
Yes, they've actually been probably the better part of Raw for the past couple of weeks.
That celebration last week was hilarious when they rode the chair down the ramp.
And they were and they got the nerve to fall out of it.
Yeah, oh my god, that was just hilarious. We'll get into the first creative misstep with the B team later on in the show. But they're back stage with Kurt Angle wanting a championship match, and Angle said, well, I'll give you credit for 2 straight wins, but it's over the same team. You need to do more. And Bo Dallas misheard Angle and thought he had to win them over to get a tag team title shot, win over the other teams. And so, I know, we'll have a barbecue. So this segment was good, but yeah, as we find out later, creative finally whiffed on the B team.
It was full of baloney.
Yeah, it was literally.
Wow, that's a bad pun.
just like Rhino, that segment was full of baloney.
I honestly said out loud during that segment, are they trying to make me not like the B team anymore?
I know. Yeah, we're not even to that segment yet. We were just talking about the Kurt Angle little
Oh
thing that set up
God!
the
Oh
barbecue.
shit! I thought you were talking about the barbecue.
No, but we were we were kind of foreshadowing how the barbecue was the first creative misstep that they've had, because they've done so far. The B team's been funny and entertaining.
Probably because they let the B team in the first couple of weeks do their own thing, and now okay, they're doing pretty good. Let's give these guys a writer.
Yeah, like Vince. Kevin Owens took on Bobby Roode in this match. Weird finish with the sunset flip and Owens sitting down for the pin. That was kind of a weird finish to me. It's just been weird overall with Bobby Roode on Monday Night Raw, and we all agree with that. As Owens is going up the ramp, predictably Braun Strowman's music hits, and Kevin Owens, tried to run away. But he ate a couple of power slams, and Bobby Roode is happily clapping along. And I'm like, yep, Braun's going to power slam Roode too. And sure enough, he did that as well. So everybody getting running power slams. Next up was Sami Zayn's apology to Bobby Lashley. And this basically, to me, I mean, we all probably, Darryl, you didn't really get a chance to talk about it, but that Lashley sister segment last week was shit, right?
I actually went to go take a dump during it.
Oh, okay. Well, that probably was more entertaining than watching.
I have not been impressed with this whole sister thing, even with the interview where they were getting to know Bobby Lashley.
Like, that was an awkward interview.
It was weird. It was like it looked like he had too much makeup on. He was sitting there smiling the whole time, talking about his sisters. And I get it, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, for once, maybe they should take a page out of Impact and see how they booked Lashley.
And I've said that to somebody recently, like, bring back the Destroyer. Show them what the Destroyer was.
Walking Armageddon.
Thank you. Like, that was the high. Besides the broken Matt Hardy thing, Bobby Lashley is one of the great spots in Impact in the past year or two.
Crowd doesn't give two shits about him. I mean, he got the best reaction probably since his return. He got the best reaction in Richmond this Monday, but still, the crowd is not really, as a whole, is not giving two shits about him, and creative ain't doing him any favors with this shit storyline with Sami Zayn.
If the quote-unquote rumors are true where they want to put Bobby Lashley in a match with Brock Lesnar, they're not doing him any favors by this view right here at all, because nobody's going to believe in him at all.
No. This was a pretty lackluster segment. Not much to it. And but we do have a match officially between Lashley and Zayn for Money in the Bank.
Pre-show.
I don't know if Vince puts Lashley on the pre-show.
That's where it needs to be.
Drew McIntyre took on Chad Gable. Gable fought valiantly, but after 5 minutes, Drew hit the Claymore. I mean, Drew McIntyre's got future world champion written all over him. I think Vince probably sees that too.
She's a big, muscular dude with wet hair and sees money.
Oh my God, there's a lot of money there. And there was the B Team Memorial Day barbecue, and this was not good at all, was it?
Nope, not at all.
Best thing about this was Rhino sitting there.
Rhino with the bologna, yes.
Yeah, Rhino sitting there with an entire tray of bologna sandwiches. Obviously, the point was to get them ahead of the line in the tag team title picture, and the rest of the tag teams didn't see it that way. This led to the typical Thanksgiving Day food fight that we always see in the WWE. Instead, we got it on Memorial Day. And in the end, Titus dumped beans on Bo, and Fandango dumped potato salad on Axel, but in the end, the B team looked strong as they slam Rhino through a table. That was not first misstep in the creative process of the B team. After the commercial angle, and the B team are backstage once again, and that's where we learn that there will be a tag team battle royal to determine who faces Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt for the championships at Money in the Bank, and let's see if they remember that AOP is on the roster.
Hopefully.
And pretty funny, Axel covered in potato salad then hugs Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle sends Axel his dry cleaning bill. Whoa, who fell over?
Oh, it's the dog.
So, Matt, the men had a gauntlet match for right before Elimination Chamber, and they got about 2 hours, right?
Yep.
What time was it about when the women started? It was probably about pretty damn close to a quarter till the end of the final hour. Not too many people happy about that, and me as well. I thought the gauntlet match, I mean, it was basically rushed all the way up until the end, right? They basically flew through everybody until it got to Ruby and Sasha.
Pretty much. I mean, Mickey got a little bit of time.
Yeah. Not much, though. I mean,
No.
she got. And I think there was a commercial in between too, so that didn't help. But she did get some. So from our perspective, it didn't look like much, but there was a commercial break in the middle of that. But Sasha Banks fights off the Riot Squad and gets the bank statement on Ruby for the win. Sasha qualifies as we all pretty much had predicted last week. Yeah, men got 2 hours for their gauntlet match. Women got 22 minutes.
They pretty much just said fuck Sasha and Bayley feud.
That too. Yeah, well, I mean, they put them on the complete opposite ends of things. SmackDown Live this week from Raleigh, North Carolina. Samoa Joe kicks off the evening. Pulls out a ladder from the ring, climbs up, and grabs the bridge. Samoa Joe won Money in the Bank already, Matt.
As he should.
Joe then cuts an awesome promo about talking about Jacob's ladder, but in Money in the Bank there are no smiling angels at the top of the ladder. It'll be just Joe smiling like he is right now. And he'll put fear into the champion that will shake SmackDown Live to its core. And he'll prove to Daniel Bryan that there are far things worse than forced retirement. And talks about how Bree will have to tell his daughter that Daddy will be home for Money in the Bank and won't be the same man. Once Joe started bringing in the family, Bryan came out, acted like they were going to get the main event started right here and there, but nope. We all let out a collective sigh because Big Ass's music hits. And he's got a crutch and says that Daniel Bryan is no longer going to be competing in a second chance. And Paige has told him that he will still face Samoa Joe when he's medically cleared. And that moment is now. He swings the crutch, but Bryan misses. He hits Joe with it. That starts a melee to start things off. And then cast with a line that clearly Vince McMahon wrote when he called Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan the shrimp and the blimp. That has Vince written all over it, doesn't it?
Oh boy.
Paige told Renee Young that Big Cass doesn't speak for her. It's going to be a triple threat match, which we all again let out another sigh because we were promised Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, and didn't get it. I asked Matt this on Twitter, and I'll ask you this now on the podcast, Matt. You know, what's worse, Joe Bryan only getting 10 minutes in this match, or throwing Cass into this triple threat with the hope of Joe and Bryan getting a longer pay-per-view match down the road?
Motherfucker, I already told you.
Tell the people. I'm asking you to tell the people.
Changing the match when you promised everybody for a week is a much bigger deal.
Oh, that was just trying to get us fools to watch when we know what it already was from Ring of Honor days. Yeah, but when you
take it away from in the very first segment, how do you know how many people didn't turn it off?
Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Gotta love him.
No, kind of hate the old bastard.
I'm with you.
The continuing rift between Paige and former Absolution members continued, and the Absolution was making fun of Paige being over her head as GM, and Paige says, well, we're going to put you in with Asuka. So there you go. We already talked about Nakamura Dillinger, how Dillinger looked pretty good against Nakamura. 8-minute match. In the end, though, of course, Nakamura with the Kinshasa. And after the fact, he hits one in the back of Dillinger's head as well and grabs the microphone and counts to 10 as to put over the last man standing match. AJ Styles is backstage with Dasha Fuentes and puts over how Nakamura is more dangerous than ever. And he picked a match that benefits Nakamura. But Styles says he's the champ, and people always underestimate him, but he fights smarter and harder than the guy that's clearly bigger and stronger than him. And I think finally, don't you think, Darryl, at Money in the Bank we're going to get the match we should have had at WrestleMania, the phenomenal, well, pun intended, amazing dream match between Nakamura and Styles?
Yep, and I actually do think this is where Nakamura takes the title.
I don't.
Yeah, I know, Matt. You're on the path of Joe and AJ, right?
I just feel like WWE already feels like, well, we gave Nakamura his win against against Styles on SmackDown a few weeks ago, and if he loses in a last man standing match, he didn't get pinned or submitted, so we're protecting him. And I don't believe Nakamura's winning the title, and I feel like that poor guy's just been screwed over since coming up to the main roster, and this doesn't change a thing. I want to be wrong, but to me, WWE logic dictates that Styles is winning this feud because Nakamura has gotten way too much in on him since he won the match, and since he's made the stipulation, Styles hasn't gotten anything on him. Like, I just feel like Styles is going to win, and this feud's going to be over.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm 50-50 right now.
Yeah, I just, because the matches, the only one that's won cleanly for the title was AJ, and the fact they keep punch him in the balls. I mean, I understand you wholeheartedly, Matt, but I just think
you could say Nakamura beat him clean on SmackDown.
Yeah,
he did. I mean, he did an Eddie Guerrero strategy to pull it off, but I mean, he won clean. And I'm just saying, WWE logic says we already got him his win.
Yeah, but WWE logic also always has that. You think you know what's going to happen, but I'm going to throw a loop in it just to fuck with the fans like us.
Well, and on top of that, Nakamura has been so tremendous as a heel.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't...
To where
I just see if he doesn't win it, in credit to what Matt says, like, if he doesn't win it, he's just going to go downhill. Like, it's going to be not worth it to even watch Nakamura anymore. Unless you put him in the U.S. Yeah, unless you put him in the U.S. title picture against Jeff Hardy. That's the only thing you can do.
And he'd have to beat Hardy.
Right.
He'd have to win another title, like, immediately.
Yeah, just to make him relevant again.
Just to salvage the heel turn and do something with it. And you know how much Vince loves putting the United States champion on hated foreign people.
On a foreign guy, yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly can see it in anything other than that. Like, to touch on what you said about Joe and AJ, I think that might wait till a Mania or something, if that, or the Rumble.
I think we get it at SummerSlam.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean,
I think Joe's the type. I think Joe's the type of character who's going to come out in July and say, "Hey, Styles, you got 5 weeks."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm cashing this in at SummerSlam, and I'm going to choke you out and take your championship. I think we're getting Joe and Styles at SummerSlam.
Joe's not taking.
I'm behind at 100%.
Yeah, if Joe wins the briefcase, he's not going to take the pussy way out.
For those folks like us who've been watching wrestling for years and have followed the careers of Joe and AJ, those Impact matches were great.
I never thought I would see Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles in a WWE reign.
No.
I never thought I would. It's going to be a real treat if they don't fuck it up. Touche.
Yeah. There's that asterisk right there if they don't fuck it up. Speaking of fucking it up, I mean, they announced this to kick off SmackDown, and I was like, what, really? No, really? A dance-off between Lana and Naomi?
Dude, I was looking forward to that.
I thought it was.
No,
I thought it was
wasn't.
the best dance-off they've ever had.
Yes.
I was not looking forward to this at all. I'm like, really? This is going to suck. Then it happened, and I'm like, that didn't suck.
Dude, because both of them actually have legitimate dance backgrounds.
Right.
So when
And
I
it
heard
was
they were going to
entertaining.
do it with those two, I'm like, oh no, I'm down with that. Let's see it.
Yeah.
It was an entertaining segment. I just thought, oh, God, this is...
Lana is the best. Lana's number one.
Yeah, it was great. It was entertaining. It's gonna set up a mixed. I almost said mixed match challenge. See, WWE's got me brainwashed. Mixed tag match between Lana and Aiden English against Jimmy Uso and his wife Naomi. Yeah, it was good. And they did the little kid and play thing there, and then Lana sucker punched Naomi and started a little brouhaha. It was a great segment. I was dreading it when they announced it, but I thought it was a good segment.
I just want to see make Naomi shake her ass, to be honest with you.
I saw, I don't know if Matt was the one that retweeted this or somebody retweeted this, but the GIF of her doing the splits, and the guy retweeted it and said some boys just became men after watching that.
After that, Jimmy Uso's a lucky man.
Yes, sir. Excellent 6-man tag match between the New Day, Miz, and The Bar. I thought this was some good shit. And Big E getting his win back on The Miz by hitting the big ending. I still think it's Big E going for the New Day.
Dude, that tilt-a-whirl into the big ending was great.
Oh, that was sick. And I think The Bar and the New Day are going to be a kickoff show match too. I think at Money in the Bank. That's my kind of prediction on things. That
match was
I don't
excellent.
know, man. It could be anywhere between a 3 or 4 hour show. They could fit it on the damn pay-per-view.
True, yeah. It might be an 8-hour show.
Well, you know, whoever the two are that are in that match, the third one's going to be in the Money in the Bank match.
Great detective work, Darryl.
You know, I try.
Now that makes me think that, well, okay, if they don't announce it until Money in the Bank, then I don't think that's going to be a tag match. But if they do announce it,
I
like
think
next week on
I think
SmackDown-
they announced before.
Yeah, if they announce before,
If
then I
they
think
just
that's
say
gonna be
the
an-
New Day, because you never know which ones are going to be there until they actually come out and get on the apron.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that 6-man tag was pretty damn good. I tell you that.
It
much.
makes sense for Big E to be. I wouldn't mind seeing Xavier in it. To be honest, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. And I love Kofi, but Kofi's been in these so many times. I want it to be either Xavier or Big E, but I've been saying this on the show for years. I want that New Day push with Big E as a singles push, and the others in the tag division. It can happen easily.
Should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean. Gallows and Anderson were interviewed by Renee Young when the Bludgeon Brothers showed up on TV.
Again, because they just can't be asked to show up to television, apparently. Guess they're the tag team equivalent of Brock Lesnar.
I guess. I don't know if this means Anderson and Gallows are going to beat him. I don't know if this means they've lost faith in the
Yeah,
Bludgeon
I don't understand the fact that they've essentially been yanked off TV. Because the only thing we've seen from them in feels like the last month have been nothing but stupid vignettes.
Asuka, Mandy Rose. I thought Mandy looked very good against the Empress of Tomorrow.
I thought this was a great match.
Yeah, it was a short one, but it was a good one, and I thought Mandy looked solid. Of course, Mandy gets the upper hand early on because Sonya Deville clocked Asuka as she was making her entrance.
I'm very much looking forward to letting them give us Sonya and Asuka 1-on-1.
Yep, you said you've seen that at a WWE live event.
Yeah,
so.
NXT house show. They were in a tag match, and
Daryl
can vouch for this. The chemistry that Sonya Deville and Asuka have, off the charts.
They're pretty good.
People see those two go back and forth. People are going to be blown away. Like, honestly, like a 5-minute match with Asuka could make Sonya Deville a star.
But you got to let them go, though. You can't just say fuck it and put them in 5 to 7 minutes. You got to let them go. You got to live up to. You got to let them. You got to let Sonya. We know what Asuka is already, but you got to let Sonya live up to her potential.
True.
Yep. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch backstage. They were friendly until they started talking about Money in the Bank and who's going to win. Paige conveniently shows up and we have a Team PCB reunion. Paige sets up a match between Charlotte and Becky Flair. Woo! Charlotte and Becky Lynch next week. That should be a solid fucking match for damn sure. They showed a commercial 205 Live. I heard Cedric and Buddy was an amazing title match.
It was incredible. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to watch it.
Andrade Cien Almas walks out of the locker room in a suit with the beautiful Zelina Vega. When I was there, who's gonna be the first feud for Andrade? I should have saw this coming.
The biggest jobber on SmackDown Live, Sin Cara, come on down.
Jesus.
Sin Cara acts like, well, he probably has known Almas for years, but he says that they were buddies, and Zelina says, "Don't touch him," and Almas said the same thing in Spanish. So there's your first feud.
I laughed so hard.
You
were thinking of all these big names, JB, that it was going to be his first feud.
No, I wasn't big names. I said I didn't say big names. I was like Shelton Benjamin or Jeff Hardy maybe even, but I was thinking Shelton Benjamin was the.
I never heard you mention Shelton Benjamin to me.
Well, I wasn't mentioning big names because he's going to win his first feud. So.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy's just the United States champion. I guess he's not a big name.
Yeah.
Former WWE champion, former tag team champions.
The modern day Grand Slam champion.
I was saying that, I don't know who else to put him in there with. And, well, yeah, Vince doesn't look at that United States title as big.
Jeff Hardy's the only person in the history of the company that has a Grand Slam that can never be repeated.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because he won titles that don't even exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He won the hardcore, he won the light heavyweight, he won the European title.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that dude's held like every title WWE's ever had. And
only thing he hasn't had is the Universal, and that's it.
Yeah.
Has he held the WWE champion? I know he was a world champion, but did he have the WWE champion?
He held both of them.
He held both?
He beat Edge and Triple H in a triple threat match to win the WWE championship.
Oh, Armageddon?
Yeah, and he had his celebration at SmackDown in Baltimore, and I was there.
I couldn't remember if that was World or WWE.
That was back when I was going to every WWE show that came to town.
Yeah. Though, I'll tell you what, though, I thought the Triple Threat was a good match, even though we didn't agree with Big Cass being added. I think Cass didn't really take away from it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I know you're not going to get persuaded either way, but I thought the Triple Threat match was really good, really fun and entertaining. Went long, 21 minutes. Hey, it went as long as the women's gauntlet match on Raw.
Imagine how great that would have been if Big Ass wasn't in it.
Yeah, 21-minute Joe Bryan match. Well,
yep.
Hey, they kicked Big Ass out of the match in the beginning, so that was funny.
There was no reason that they couldn't just. If you weren't going to have him be the guy to lose, there was no reason you just didn't have him come out and distract Bryan and have Joe put on the clutch and pass Bryan out. There was no reason to put him in that match.
That's what we thought it was going to be.
And that's what it should have been.
He's only there to take the pin. But nope.
Fuck you, Vince. Fuck you, Big Ass.
With all that aside, though, I thought it was still a very solid triple threat match with everybody involved.
You would.
I would. Joe going to Money in the Bank. So that our fields are now set for both the men and the women for Money in the Bank, which is 2 weeks from Sunday. So for the men's side, we have Strowman, Balor, Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Owens, Joe, and probably Big E. And then for the women, Ember Moon, Charlotte, Bliss, Lynch, Natalya, Lana, Naomi, Banks. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still not sold on how Natalya is.
I can't wait to fucking bury you.
It makes the
Money on the
honestly
Bank
makes the most
post-game
sense.
show when Natalya is the fucking WWE Raw Women's Champion by the time we record. It's gonna be so good. Yeah. It's gonna be so good.
I don't know how it's burying me.
I'm gonna bury you.
I don't know how it's burying me, but okay.
I'm gonna bury you. You won't even know how until I do it. But I'm gonna bury your ass.
Yeah, sure. Oh well, then Vince telegraphs what's going to happen, and then I picked Natalya in the pre-show, so that could very well happen too.
No, you can't pick Natalya in the pre-show. You have to pick Natalya on the Wednesday.
Our pre-show.
All right.
Our pre-show.
Well, you're good.
Vince could very well.
You have 2 more.
Vince could very well.
You have 2 more weeks to open up your eyes and realize everything that's already sitting in front of you.
I'm just not sold on it yet.
Well, Natalya's going to lose next week on Raw, so there'll be right there.
Yeah, then I might be convinced. That's going to do it for this edition of Lost to the Midcard. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost to the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Thursday and Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. And you can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. Links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost to the Midcard. Also on our Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also retweet all the great stuff from the wrestling world. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw Showtime. Darryl's on the Twitter at No One Like D. And Darryl, thanks for coming on. Darryl, what are your final thoughts here as we are getting closer to Money in the Bank?
So, based on what I've seen from Big Ass, he's not shit without Enzo. And based on what I've seen with Enzo's music video, he's not shit without Big Ass.
Yes.
I heard there was a vote. Who's the better rapper, Enzo or Leo Rush?
I hear Leo Rush won.
Yep, I heard Leo Rush.
Pretty much.
Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I like these spaced out pay-per-views now. I feel like the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I feel like the pay-per-views mean more. As much as we groaned about, them bringing the brands back together with the new cable deals, it makes sense. I like the fact that it's 4 to 6 weeks between shows. They feel more important. They don't feel like, oh my God, there's another pay-per-view this week. And yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Money in the Bank, and I can't remember the last WWE pay-per-view I really said that about.
Yeah, it was definitely a grind when we had back-to-back-to-back pay-per-views, 3 of them in 6 weeks. That was definitely a grind. For Darryl Bullock, Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost the Midcard. We'll be back at you next week.